What is up, everybody? Welcome to DFS by the Numbers. This is my prize picks breakdown for UFC Vegas 83.
I need all the wins, yeah. Harder than all of this. You better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out.
And we are back for another prize picks breakdown. This week we are breaking down prize picks for UFC Vegas 83. It's headlined by Song Yadong and Chris Gutierrez. Pretty good card. Looking forward to it. We have 11 fights on the card. Before we get into it, if you guys could please do me a favor, leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you have not already. If you guys are new to prize picks and want to check it out, use promo code DFSBTN. Get yourself a 100% deposit bonus up to $100. It helps me. It helps you. It's free money. Go check it out. Again, promo code DFSBTN. I'll give a couple plays that do stick out this week. There's not a ton of fights. There's not a ton of options, but there are some things that do stick out. So we will start with the fight time here. And the first thing that I do like is going to be that Tatsuro Taira fight time. It's set at 12.5 minutes. I'm going to take the less here. I think Taira gets a sub here. You know, we saw Hernandez get submitted in his fight against Alan Nascimento. I don't know if it's going to be that easy, but, what I do think is Taira is going to be able to have the wrestling to get this fight down to the mat. Carlos Hernandez's takedown defense is okay, but I think it's just okay. And if it's just okay, I think Taira is going to have no problem getting the fight down to the mat, potentially getting to the back. And we know how slick of a grappler Tatsuro Taira is. Taira is a very, very good grappler, multiple submissions in the UFC and out. I think Taira gets him out of there within those first 12 and a half minutes there. I think he's going to have plenty of opportunities to do so. So give me Taira. Give me the less on the fight time set at 12.5 minutes. I like that one. We'll get another fight time in here. Another one. This one is kind of terrifying, but I'm going to go with a Luana Santos fight time. It's set at 10.5 minutes. I'm actually going to take them more. I know she finished Juliana Miller in the first round in her last fight, but this is a gigantic step up in competition, and both these fighters are fairly similar. Both fighters, I believe, are BJJ black belts. Both fighters are judo black belts as well. Both fighters don't have the best striking. I see this fight being very competitive. I see this fight being very close. I actually think this fight could potentially go the distance as well, and yeah, I think this more hits on the 10.5 fight times for Luana Santos. So give me the more there on fight time for Luana Santos. All right, and then let's see. I'm going to actually go with the Khalil Roundtree fight time as well, 7.5 minutes. I'm going to take the less here. I think somebody's getting served here, and I think somebody's getting served early on. Like, stylistically, I do like a finish here, and I think I like a finish early as well. Khalil Roundtree, when he's winning fights, and he is favored here by a decent amount. I think last time I checked, he's minus 220, something like that. When he's winning fights, more often than not, it's by knockout, and it's in the first round. Multiple first-round finishes for Roundtree, a couple second-round finishes in there as well. And I just think if he gets the fight he wants, which is going to be a fight that takes place standing, I think he's very live to knock out Anthony Smith, who has been finished a ton throughout his career, who's taken a ton of damage, who's coming in here on short notice, who's not wearing damage or taking damage well as of late. Khalil Roundtree's been on a roll. I think he finishes Smith here within 7.5 minutes. On the flip side, though, if Smith gets this fight down to the mat, he could absolutely go out there and finish, Khalil Roundtree. Khalil Roundtree, the times we have seen him taken down, it hasn't looked great. So I like the less here. I think it covers a couple different angles in this fight, and I think somebody gets finished within those first 7.5 minutes. All right, we'll move on now to the significant strikes, and the first one that we will touch on is going to be another Taira here. We're going to go with Tatsuro Taira, 45.5 significant strikes. I'm going to take the less. I don't really see a reason why he'd want to go out there and strike with Carlos Hernandez. I kind of think the game plan for Taira is going to be to get this fight down to the mat, pretty much like it always is. And yeah, like I said, I think he subs Carlos Hernandez. I don't see this fight going too long into the fight, too deep into the fight. I don't really see it taking place on the feet for all that long as well. I think Taira should have no problem taking him down. I don't think that's going to be an issue. And once Taira does get guys down, they typically stay there. So I like another less here on the Taira side, and it's going to be the less on those significant strikes. I'm going to go with another one here. Another scary one, another sketchy one, but I'm going to take the Hung Sung Park more than 21.5 significant strikes. I know what you're thinking. Shannon Rogers just got knocked out in one punch against Jesus Aguilar. But, Hung Sung Park, this guy is not really a power puncher. He doesn't have a ton of power. He's more of like a submission guy. I actually think this fight gets a lot more extended than people think. I think people might be thinking Shannon Ross's shin is so bad that he gets starched in 60 seconds again. Maybe that's the case, but I mean, if it happened 3 times in a row, that would just be incredible. At the end of the day, he did go about a round and a half against Vinicius Salvador. He did get dropped 3 times, and I just see this fight getting extended. I think this fight gets late second, maybe third round, even for Hong Sung Park. His debut went into the 3rd round. So yeah, I'm actually leaning the more here on significant strikes. I think Shannon Ross's durability is bad, but it's not that bad. My gosh. I mean, this is a flyweight fight at the end of the day, and like I said, Hong Sung Park, it doesn't have murderous power puncher or murderous power punching. There we go. And then I'm going to go with the Nasrat Haqparast significant strikes. It's set at 75.5. Yeah, I mean, Haqparast, this guy landed over double that in his last fight. My worry here would be if he knocked out Jamie Mullarkey, but yeah, I think it's a high-paced fight. I think this fight stays on the feet for pretty much the entire time. I don't see Mullarkey getting takedowns. I can see him going for takedowns, but I don't see him getting takedowns here. Haqparast has really good takedown defense, and on the feet, everything that Haqparast throws, I mean, it's going to land. I mean, Jamie Mullarkey, terrible striking defense, eats punches with his face. I think these significant strikes are going to add up quick for one Nasrat Haqparast. All right, moving on to the takedowns. There's nothing I really like here on the takedowns. Because I think Tatsuro Taira could get 1 takedown, and that could be it. Mel Costa, 1.5. I don't think he goes for takedowns, but if he wants to, he probably hits that. It's something I don't feel great about. And then Tim Elliott, I think that's probably the one I like most. Like Tim Elliott takedowns like Tim Elliott is a very good wrestler. That's typically what Sumadarji struggles with. He struggles with guys, taking him down, subbing him, and Tim Elliott, although coming in on short notice, is and that's kind of why I'm a little bit sketched out on this fight in general. But yeah, Tim Elliott's averaging almost 4 takedowns per 15 minutes. So if this fight does get extended, the path for Tim Elliott should clearly be getting this fight down to the mat. It's just the short notice aspect of things is kind of the one thing that would throw me off there. But yeah, I mean, Tim Elliott, if he's coming in here ready to go, prepared, I mean, I think he crushes this too. But the short notice thing kind of is holding me back just a tag. All right, and then finally, we will touch on some fantasy score here, and the first one that I like for fantasy score is going to be, I'm going to take the, if it's still there, it is. So, Hong Sung Park, I'm taking the less on the fantasy score. I mean, I talked about it with the significant strikes. Hong Sung Park is not some murderous power puncher. I don't think he's knocking out Shannon Ross in 60 seconds. He's a grappler. Like, Hong Sung Park is a grappler. The majority of his wins come via submission. He likes to get fights down to the mat. And if that's the case, if he does take down Shannon Ross, if that's the game plan, I mean, he's going to get nowhere near 118.5. Because on PrizePicks, you don't get control time. You don't get none of that. I mean, you can get takedowns, but, 1 takedown is not going to really do much. And you also don't get strikes in general. You just get the significant strikes for PrizePicks. So if it turns out, Hong Sung Park does take him down, control him, lands a lot of strikes, I mean, those strikes aren't counting towards the PrizePicks score. So yeah, I mean, I like the less here. I think the only way this one does hit is if he knocks out Shannon Ross, knocks him down a couple times in the first round. I just don't think that's the case. So I think we get an extended fight here, and I think the score is way too high for Hong Sung Park. All right, and then back to Luana Santos here. I'm going to take the less on her fantasy score, 82.5. Kind of the same thing. Her striking looked okay in her fight against Juliana Miller, but this is not Juliana Miller. This is Stephanie Egger. I actually expect this fight to take place a good chunk in the clinch, on the mat as well. I think we get a lot of control time for either fighter each way, and I'm not even convinced that Luana Santos goes out here and wins. Just another reason I do like this less. I'm actually picking Stephanie Egger to go out there and pull off the upset. So give me the less for Luana Santos fantasy score. I know she crushed it in her debut against Juliana Miller, but this is not Juliana Miller. And then finally going to go with Kevin Jusay, fantasy score, less 89.5. I mean, this guy's low volume. Another guy that had a really good debut against Kiefer Crosby, but Kiefer Crosby I just don't think is UFC caliber. I think Kevin Jusay hits this less. I'm, again, not even convinced he wins. I actually like Song Yadong to pull off the upset, but at the very least, I think it's going to be a very close fight. I think it does go the distance. I don't really see any grappling upside here from Jusay. Maybe he gets a takedown or two. I don't really think so, though. So yeah, I like this less one way or another. Whether he wins or loses, I think this hits the less there. All right, there you guys have it. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know down in the comments what play you liked. If I missed anything, be sure to leave a like, subscribe on your way out. Check out PrizePicks. Use promo code DFSBTN. Get yourself a 100% deposit match up to $100. And yeah, best of luck for UFC Vegas 83. Should be a very fun card. See you guys later.